All right, monsters. What is up, everybody? Good morning to Facebook Live. What's up to YouTube and to Twitch as well? Can
It's
you hear
it's
the
so.
background music to everybody on air?
I gotta get the Christmas spirit going. So I'm gonna sip me some of my drink.
Oh my gosh, is that cup even filled with anything?
Yes, it's filled with
Perfect.
coffee. But
Perfect.
yeah, so we got
Hi,
a nice
guys.
show. All right, so how you guys, everybody doing? Okay, we got a nice show today. Why we're going international? Why we're going with someone who represents the Philippines and helps out a lot of people when it comes to making great music. He
Yep.
does have an album out. It is an OPM collection of all. This is volume one. So of his great work, we've seen him working with, let's see, Ariana Grande, David
Oh,
Foster, just to name a few. We'll name some more in just a bit. Joining us from his home from Los Angeles, California. Give it up for great music director, Troy Laureta.
hey,
What's up, guys?
oh my gosh, it's so nice to meet you.
Oh my
Hi.
goodness, so good to meet you too. How
Where are
are
you
you
calling
guys?
us from?
I'm sorry?
Where are you calling us from?
Los Angeles. I'm here in LA right now.
Wow,
Yeah,
the LA
chilling,
dream.
chilling. That's what it's about, man. How are you doing, Troy? Especially during, let's just say, the pandemic times
Yes.
there in Los Angeles. How is everything there?
Oh my good. Well, LA is still kind of crazy, but you know what? We're doing what we can, in the pandemic, like musicians like myself, we're just trying to keep creative and, make music and do things that we never done. Like I cook a lot now, so it's just music and food, I guess, so far.
It's
I love
learning.
that the combination of music and food, but that really does sum up a lot of people's year so far, Troy. Because I mean,
Yes.
when lockdown first happened, everyone was kind of a bit like, what? And it's different for every country because
Yeah,
every country has their own little thing, how they're going about, this pandemic. I
of
mean, for
course.
you, you're a big deal in the music scene. No matter how humble you're going to try to be right now, you're a big deal. You work with big artists, you're used to always working and figuring out how you
Yeah.
can create more music and talking to artists about it. When the pandemic first hit, did you sort of see it as a time to rest? We always ask our guests this because it's different for everyone, like I said. So for you, did you take like the first few weeks off? Were you like, you know what, airplane mode on life? I'm just gonna sit on the couch and chill for like 3 weeks. How were the first few weeks for you in lockdown there in LA?
The first time they announced lockdown, I was like, oh yes, like a perfect time to rest. And it started off like a dope rest. And then like maybe 3 weeks in, that's when you're like, oh my God, I gotta get out of here. That's when like I needed to do something. Like I'm so used to always being on the run. So the pandemic really kind of halted everything. It kind of made me, it humbled me in a way too. And it just kind of forced me to, I guess, smell the roses, I guess. So that it's been crazy. And everything got canceled. I'm a live musician, so
Exactly.
everything just got canceled and we had to find new avenues. And it was kind of sad. If I'm gonna be honest, it was kind of sad for a while. Not just because everything got canceled, but because there was just so much uncertainty when stuff would happen back. So it's been crazy trying to maneuver your way.
One of the things that we've come to discover with everything that you've been doing
Yeah.
is that the great artists that you have worked with and the journey to your music, many will ask, how did you do it? How did
Yeah.
it get started for you? When did you discover that this was something that I wanted to do?
Well, I've been playing piano since I was 6, but in terms of like getting really in the industry, my family moved to LA like when I was about 17, 18. I was going to college. And from there, that's when I really wanted to, like I told my parents, yo, like, I know you guys want me to be like a doctor or a engineer or a lawyer, but I really wanted to do music. So they just decided, all right, if this is what you want to do, we're gonna do it right. So my whole family packed our bags and we moved to LA. And it took me about like 2 to 3 years in LA, auditioning and just playing every gig that I could, $50 gigs, $100 gigs for 4 hours, and it just got my foot wet, like
Yeah.
trying to just make it and getting your name out there because no one knew who I was. Obviously, like I was a Hawaii boy with with small dreams and trying to make it. So when I started auditioning 3 to 4 years later, like that's when stuff started happening. I got my first gig was actually with Jake. That was my first major gig in America, and it kind of broke me into the scene because David Foster was the one that chose me to be his musical director. So from then is when everything started to go, real crazy, and people started calling, and I loved it. It's humbling, man. Like I'm from Hawaii, you guys. Like I was playing piano under the coconut trees. You know what I'm saying?
God, I love you, Troy. I literally just want to package you up and bring you home. You were so adorable. No, but what I find so interesting, and I'm sorry, but I just have to ask because, that's the typical like Filipino dream of parents, doctor child, lawyer child. Like, let's be honest, that's something that a lot of Filipinos, especially Filipinos who, migrate abroad and want a better life and want a better life for their kids, that's something that they really desire for them, right? But you were really just so straightforward and you were like, fam, love y'all, but music is my passion and I'm going to do it. And like you said, it took a couple of years before you really got your big break. You were doing these low paying quote unquote gigs because you just really loved it. Was there ever a point though, Troy, where you felt like, oh man, is this a mistake? Or, oh no, I literally made my family pack their bags and move if this doesn't work out? I mean, was there that pressure on yourself? Because that also was a big decision that you guys had to make as a family. And not gonna lie, like a part of it was really because you wanted to follow your dreams and your passion and what your heart wanted, right?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely am lucky I put my parents through it, but I think you know what, all seriousness, I think the moment where I really did think that it was like, was this a mistake is when, because, my parents worked really hard to, have like a good life. They were settled in Hawaii. That's where they immigrated to. So we were pretty good in Hawaii, and we literally packed up everything. So when we moved to LA, it was me, my sister, my mom and dad, and my lolo. We shared this like 2-bedroom apartment. It was like really tiny for 5 people, and we had no furniture. We haven't even gone grocery shopping. So we literally entered the room into this empty, like really sad apartment, and we looked at each other and started crying, and I felt bad.
Oh,
That's when I realized, not just like, was this a mistake, but it also kind of like, you know what, for them, I'm gonna really try to make a name for myself, like represent not just Filipinos but my family, because they really, me and my sister, they put a lot on the line for the both of us. So, but I think that was and obviously the heartbreaks along the way, not getting the gig or getting laid off or whatever. Like, but it's all part of the journey, man. Like the music journey. Every musician knows what it's like, a struggling musician. But
So can you imagine, right? What got you to persevere? What got you to keep on going? If, for example, you found out, all right, Troy, we got to give your gig to somebody. Sorry, we got priorities. How did you feel about that? And were you able to overcome that?
I've always been a believer that, when one door closes, another door opens. So when that gig, if I lost the gig or it goes on to the next one, I am sad because, music is so personal, but then it just becomes like, okay, now you get to spread your wings other places, like put your magic, your passion into someone else. And I love doing that. I think it's also healthy to, work with different artists and different types of music. I love that. I kind of float around different genres, pop. So it doesn't make me too sad unless, it's all good.
that's a good way of looking at it because a lot of people, they'll see the rejection as a sign that, okay, it's not for me, just gonna give up right then and there, pack my bags, and that's it. But for you, it was like, it happens. You persevere. It's not meant for you. You just keep on going. And I think that's something that a lot of us can really resonate with, especially right now, Troy, because I mean, it's the same for everybody all over the world. Like, just like you, gigs are canceled, events are put on hold. I mean, there are people whose weddings and debuts and, all these things are literally on hold. And
I know
it's important to try to remember that it's not the end. It's just a pause, right?
It's just a pause. Yeah.
So wonderful.
Well, the great thing about this pandemic, the silver lining, as we say, is that he released an album It's called Kaibigan, a
Yes.
Troy
Yes.
Loretta OPM Collective Volume 1. So, Carla, that means there will be a Volume 2, 3,
Oh
4. It's
my
going to be
gosh, please have all the way to volume 10. Rico, you're on to something.
right. Here we
Hope
are.
so.
Now, in comes the family. Okay, Troy did mention, his sister Chessa joins the mix for this one. So Chessa will be joining us right now in this interview. Okay, she's supposed to try out. She's there somewhere. But how was it working with you two working together? How is that experience?
Hi,
Working
Jess.
with Chessa, there she is. Working with Chessa is great. It's so easy. Hi, Chess, because she's my sister, so we know how to talk to each other. We know how to, we have a chemistry when it comes to music and also personalities. Like we connect. It's a brother sister magic team. I love it. It's like
I'd like to
Yes.
think like we're like twins, like the Gemini twins.
yes.
No, but some people say you should never work with family or like friends or whatever. I mean, for you guys, was it just like a no brainer? Like, you know what? If we disagree, is okay. We disagree in real life anyway. So, were there any moments where you guys butted heads or like Chessa had like a. Oh my God, okay, here we go. I'm just being frank. Brother sister spats happen. So in making this project, were there moments where you were literally like, I just want to kill you right now? I want to fire you like your sister.
Of course.
No, let's see.
You know what we say when we were younger? Our best shows were the ones where we were fighting the most.
Like we were, if we have a fight before a show, we're like, oh man, it's gonna be a bomb show. It's gonna be so dope because we thought.
There's more passion to it. You know what I mean? Like, I'll kill you after the show.
We love each other. Like that's like first and foremost. But don't get it twisted. Like when it comes to our craft, we're so serious about it. And I guess because we are brother and sister, we're able to talk to each other like not the way I would probably talk to another artist. You know what I mean? So we push each other. We know what each other can do and what push it to the limits to its limits so that it's great. You know what I mean? So that's how we look at it.
Was Chessa your first collaboration growing up? Was she always into singing, or is it more of Troy? You pushed her, all right, sis, we got this. I got you. You know what I mean?
My sister actually taught me how to sing. She was 8 years old. I was 10, and she was joining a competition. And I was just playing piano at the time, and she was like, "Yo, I'm gonna join a competition, and it's gonna be dope." I was like, "Well, do we have a piano part of it?" She was like, "No, only singing." I was like, "You have to teach me how to sing." So she taught me how to sing, and we formed a group together. And in Hawaii, we kind of we performed everywhere. It was a group called A2C for all the Hawaii Filipinos. We used to perform at all the debuts, the weddings. Everything. So yeah, it's
You know what the tea about that competition and teaching him how to sing is that I never placed, but he won like a silver and gold medal, and I was like,
Girl, I feel you. I was talking to my friend Ariana Grande. You know her?
Yeah.
Encouraging her. I was like, you know what? You should just sing. Like, you're not going to be as good as me. But you should really sing. And now she's like winning all these awards, and I'm just like,
all right.
disrespectful.
But the album comes in now. You bring in Kaibigan, the album, of course, your OPM Collective, and who chose the song for the artist? Like your sister. Who chose the song for you? Was it you who chose the song, or
I did? Like a lot of these songs meant so much to me in my life. So like every song on the album kind of pertains to either an event that happened in my life, and it just I wanted it to be super meaningful. And when I chose the artist too, like I wanted it to be either friends or inspirations in my life. So yeah, when I chose this, I chose the songs, and I was like, ooh, like Pia would be perfect for that one, or Nicole would be. I heard their voices on the arrangements while I was doing it already. So
yeah. Carla, if you're wondering, that's Nicole Scherzinger. What?
Troy is like one of those super cool people who's on like a first name basis with. We're just like, wait, what? And he's just like, yeah, Nick and I, we went out for Froyo.
Be a Nikki on the side, like
I hate
It's
you.
just-
Chessa, I can see now. I'm like, that's disrespectful.
Okay, you see what I'm saying?
Okay, it's just like too much. No, but that's great. Chessa, did you have input as well? Because, aside from being an incredible artist, you're also his sister. So were you kind of like, try that? No. Try no. She better for this song. No, no.
You know what's funny? When we first talked about Bakita, I was like really nervous about doing it. I was like, "Are you sure? Everybody has a beat it song. How are we gonna make this like epic and like magical?" But I trust my brother. He always makes decisions that like benefits me. He makes me look good. And then we would talk back and forth, and like we would get ideas. Like, okay, let's do this with the arrangement. He would ask me. I'm glad that he trusts me. Little old me. And yeah, he has me doing some background vocals on some of the songs as well.
Mhm.
So it was definitely a team effort.
Mm.
Family, team effort, that's what it's all about. Now, Chessa's
yes,
joining us. For those that are listening, those that are watching us, we have Troy, we have Chessa. Now, one of the artists as well that's featured in the album, and we know, Troy, you've been working a long time with this artist. Great voice, great talent. Oh my goodness.
yes.
Bringing us pride all the time, ladies and gentlemen. Joining the show, we have none other than Jake Cyrus.
Yeah, kapatid!
I
Can
know. Like,
we
Nasabit.
Jake, you should never cough in interviews. It's a sensitive time, brother. We can't hear you. Jake?
I don't think we can hear you, Jay.
Oh, what's happening? Oh, hello? Can you
Oh,
hear
there we
me?
go.
Yeah, okay. Hi,
Oh, okay.
Jake.
Hi, Jake.
Hey, everyone.
There we go.
Yeah,
Can you hear me now?
very clear.
Jake,
Yeah.
first of all, gotta commend you for the background. Thank you for all the holiday feels. Look at you, YouTuber, you. Um,
I got,
before
I got
before
you.
we get into this whole thing, what I find so cool is Troy mentioned earlier that technically, Jake, you were like one of his first big breaks, like performing with you, working with you brought about so many new opportunities for him. And I just think it's amazing, Troy and Jake and Chessa, how it's kind of come full circle.
Yes.
Like you started it off with Jake and it works and you got all these opportunities. And then now you make this wonderful project and you bring him in. I mean, was that something that you felt like you wanted to do from the start, Troy? Were you like, you know what, when I make this, Jake's in this album, like for sure he's going to be part of this? What was that
You,
process
you know
like?
what? Of course. When I say it all the time, Jake Zyrus is one of the reasons why I'm doing what I do in the industry. And when I did the album, when I called it, especially when I called it KAIBIGAN, like it was a no-brainer. Of course, I needed to include Jake Zyrus, and we call each other kapatid, like that's my brother. So yeah, yes, give the people what they want. They want Jake Zyrus, baby.
And of course, the
Shout out.
musical change. Di ba? Iba yung naging genre ni Jake eh. Parang ano siya, standards na eh. So, ganun din ba yung approach, Jake, dito sa album na to with your song?
Yes, actually, we talked about that, and actually, when I recorded Usahay, that was and we were in the studio. That was actually the first time that he's heard me, well, technically like sing live. So it was really a little bit of a kind of emotional, and
Mhm.
Yeah.
kasi syempre we've worked together for so long, and like obviously like the last time we worked together, it was before the I mean like I transitioned already, but it was like the
Mhm.
first part of my transition. So like he has never heard like yung medyo parang stable na voice ko na. So like that was
Mhm.
the first time that he's heard sing live, and it was really special. And but like I trust him. Like I think aside sa like where kapatid and all that, he knows kung ano yung bagay sa akin.
Mhm.
We talked about like the genre na gusto kong gawin, and it wasn't hard at all. You know, it was easy. Like
Yeah.
he was just like, "Oh, I got you." Parang na-imagine ko na I know what to do, and I trusted him. And when he sent me the demo, um, I listened to it and I was like, yep, this like that's why I trust you, man, because like he just knows exactly what to do. He knows his artist.
Mhm.
He meets you the first time, whether long time na kayo magkakilala or first time kayo magkakilala. He's a genius, like he's a genius, and that there's a reason why David picked him for me
Mhm.
ever since from the very beginning because he's very talented, and I think the most important thing about him is he never changed. Like from
Mhm.
the very beginning, talagang humble talaga siya. Talagang kapatid talaga. Like he's really a family to me, and my sister, of course, Chessa. Yeah, it
Hey,
means a
Oh,
hey,
lot.
hey,
Yeah.
I
the,
want
the,
to be part of this family. By the
hey,
way,
can you
all
sign
the
up?
all the moms who are tuned in on air, we are playing Usahai over on air right now. It's in the background. You can hear Jake's incredible voice.
Yes.
Troy, since we're talking about Jake's voice as
Thank
well.
you.
Last time you worked with him, like he said, he was start of his transition. So it was really a little bit rocky, wobbly in terms of like his voice and how he was going to go about singing, right?
Yeah.
Was that an exciting challenge for you? Was that something that you felt like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna like step it up and really find the perfect, song and the perfect melody for him? I mean, how was that process like as well? Because this is a totally different thing, it's a
Yeah.
totally different thing from what you remember Jake from before, right? So how did that go about as well in picking Jake for this project?
Well, I always looked at Jake and Sharice as two separate artists. So when I approached it, I was very excited because I worked with Cha in the past, and I was like, "Yo, Jake, we need to do this record." And when he said that he wanted to do jazz, like I love jazz, so I was really excited to arrange something that would. I always like to arrange stuff that kind of tailors to people's voices. So even though we've worked together for so long, it was so interesting and really fun and neat to really experiment. Get some tones that he hasn't done yet, and we haven't really done jazz. To be honest, when we worked back in the day, so tapping into this side of Jake was real. I was ecstatic. Like I was like, "Sing, what you know about jazz, Jake?"
But
Aw.
you could see the level of trust, when Jake
Mm.
did mention the transition phase, and with Troy and the music, and when you walked in the studio, para bang you had the music for Chessa, you had the music for Jake, na para ganito tayo, o ito tayo. Was it like that?
It was kind of like that. Like I would give them like the demo, and they would study it, and they would obviously bring their own ideas to the table. But I really told them like this is how we're gonna do it. You're gonna do the high note here. You're gonna do airy right here. So, but it's always a collaborative effort. I produced it, but I never wanted to also make it sound like Troy, if that makes sense. I always want to keep a sense of there's Chessa in there, there's Jake in there, there's Pia. Every artist has to sound like them at the end of the day because then people are gonna be like, "What the heck? What did you do?"
That's what makes you such a genius, Troy. I mean, it's like you kind of have this innate understanding of each of the artists that you
Mhm.
work with, whether they're
I
actual
see.
family like Chessa
Yeah.
or a
Mhm.
longtime friend turned family like Jake. Chessa, I mean, I'm sorry, I just have to ask, yes, your brother is like super talented and he knows all these people by their first name. And when he wanted you to be part of this, you saw who other artists were going to be part of this wonderful project. Were you a little scared? Were you a little nervous? Because yes, you are incredibly talented as well. But you're also going to be working
Thank
alongside these other artists who are also very big names. How did you feel? Were you nervous? Were you scared? Were you
Right.
excited? Were you like, Troy, you better not mess this up for me?
And also the song. Who chose the song?
I know your mommy, I know your daddy.
Okay.
Okay. it was very humbling, and it was like a great opportunity. I saw it as a great opportunity, and each artist are very different. We all have our distinct sounds, so I think that's what makes the Kaibigan album so beautiful. That we different ethnicities, different sounds from different types of like voices coming together to make the album. So I think that I don't think I was really like necessarily intimidated. I guess I was more excited to be a part. Anything for my big brother, diba?
Oh, that's a nice way of looking at it. I
Mm.
don't know why, but you guys are such like a nice bunch of siblings. Y'all are so humble and like, yeah, it was a great experience. It was very humble. Your parents raised you well. We get it. We get it. Talented and humble. Okay.
Let's check behind the scenes. What's happening behind the scenes? It's
I
our
know, but
documentary.
after the show, I'll talk to you both.
Diba, diba.
Right. We'll talk to you after
Yeah.
the show.
With making music, for those that are joining us, the album OPM Collective, it is out. Okay, so when you chose the songs, Troy, what made you choose these songs? Okay, were these are the songs you grew up with? And was there any pressure of doing your own style of arrangement to these classics?
Well, I get these songs, like when I chose songs, like for example, like Kahit Isang Saglit, it was sung by Aileen from South Korea. That's a song that my dad used to always sing, on the karaoke, push 49212 on the magic mic, Kahit Isang Saglit. So he would always sing it, and I would always remember him singing it by the piano. He would always ask me. Martin Rivera was always, on deck, and songs like Pangako, I watched the teleseries with my Lola and my mom. So that's how I kind of chose it. And in terms of the arrangement, I really, like I said this before, like I wanted to give the arrangement, like I've been blessed to work with so many different artists. I thank God every day. And when I did this album, I kind of wanted to the same energy that I gave, to David or to any other artist that I worked here in America. I really wanted to kind of use the tools and the knowledge that I gained from all those years and really just not necessarily flip the script on these OPM. I wanted to keep the integrity of the songs, but make it sound like lush and big, as if like the whole world was playing it. And I think that's how it kind of symbolically came about. Like I wanted like the world to be playing it, so it had to be big and lush and violin here and trumpets there. You know what I mean? I wanted to give it the works, man. Like Filipino music deserves that, y'all. Like
Yeah.
I will say it again. Like OPM music is so beautiful and something to be cherished and honored by Filipinos everywhere. Like it's such a I don't know if how I don't know if I feel like sometimes we forget, you know what I mean, how beautiful OPM is and how like I'm from Hawaii, so a little boy from Hawaii was inspired by OPM thousands of miles away, and I'm able to do a lot of what I do because of what Filipino music, how it has inspired me. So it's very powerful, and I think people should be reminded of that. I guess we love to. I'm American. I be bumping and twerking and Cardi B. So I like to get down with some Martin Rivera and some Jaja Padilla on the weekend.
Martin Rivera. Can that be our
Oh,
codable
yeah.
quote for the day?
Yeah.
No, but that's so true, Troy. And I think that's something that Filipinos need to remember. Filipino music is wonderful, and the
Yes.
artists are just, I mean, we have some of the most amazingly gifted artists
Yes.
ever. And
Ever.
Filipinos are taking over the world. We're literally all over the world.
Yes.
There are Filipinos in all parts of the world. So, I mean, technically, we own the world. But that is something. Jake, you said earlier
Mm.
you trust Troy. Whatever he decides to do for you as an artist, you trust him 100%. But yo, Jake, spill the tea. Did you really want to sing this song, or did you want to sing something else for that?
Alam mo ikaw, yan ka na naman eh.
I'm just asking what the people want to know, Jake.
Oh, the tea.
Come on, man.
She wants the tea. She wants the tea. No. Actually, when we chose Usahay, actually may story na kami sa Usahay because we were on tour and this was still Cherise, and the show was about to start. It was in Cebu, and 30 minutes before the show, Troy asked me if I could sing a Bisaya song, and syempre it made sense at the time, and sabi ko sa kanya, sure, like anong song, and it was Usahay. So I had to learn the song like 30 minutes before the show, but it was just like like verse and chorus, so I sang it, we performed that. So like fast forward when he talked me through this through his album, it wasn't really like yung parang like a tough decision making kasi like parang when we were talking, parang sabi ko na parang yung mga syempre may mga mga foreigners kakanta sila ng Tagalog, so like sabi ko na parang I want to do something like special too, what like maybe ibang dialect, you know what I'm saying? So nung time na yun, we just basically just look at each other and we were like, yep,
Usahay.
we're doing Usahay. Yeah. Yeah,
It was
so,
that's when musical chemistry is there, when it comes to it. Now, with the music, Troy, designing the music for Jake, ano arreglo? I mean, we know that Jake loves Nirvana, loves some rock and roll as well. So
Loves
yes.
Well, he loved jazz, so I was listening to Usahay, and Usahay is like a really beautiful song by by Pilita, and I loved her version. But I wanted, when I was thinking like, okay, jazz, I'm thinking like Cebu meets New York, just simple piano in like a rusty apartment, and then like the muted trumpet in the street with like the smokes coming out from the sewer. You know what I mean? Like that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And as soon as he sang Usaha and then the trumpet started going, I was like, oh, okay, New York right there. Like I really wanted to give it like a dirty jazz club feel, but still sentimental, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like a different take, because the original is so beautiful, and I wanted to just, what would happen if we brought it over to, like a more jazzy club kind of vibe.
Chessa, Chessa and Jake, what are the things that people don't know about Troy that we will be surprised to discover?
Wait, that you can share on air,
Natawa sila pareho, eh.
on Twitch, and on Facebook. Because might I remind
Thank you for pointing that out.
what's up to all the monsters who are listening? We are live on air. You are listening to in the background by Jake ZYRUS, TROY LAURETA. So yes, go on, carry on.
Start with
You should probably start,
Take
Chessa.
note, it's morning radio, okay? It is 11:42. There are children listening. Chessa.
You know what?
magkatabi lang sila.
Through this pandemic, Troy has really shown that he's a really great cook.
Yes.
Okay.
Yo,
Yes. Like, not even a cook, a chef. He made like this French food, and it was so lush and so beautiful and so bougie.
feeling it tonight. Oh, you're feeling Ethiopian? All right, let's just throw all over the pan. You're feeling Japanese.
Oh my goodness.
You know, during quarantine, to keep us like kind of sane in the house, we would have like these ethnic nights. Like tonight we're gonna have Mexican food. Tomorrow we'll have Ethiopian. It was like it kept us sane.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh,
You
hashtag
gotta have
sun.
that thing.
I have-
Jake,
I was hoping for something a little more juicy. I can tell. Like, she's up there. Like,
look at the
Okay.
smile. Look at her. Jake. I didn't chismis, Jake. I didn't chismis.
No. Troy, ano ba? No.
Troy, that you can share, ha?
Wait.
Okay.
Well, hindi kasi syempre since may pandemic, so most of the time video call lang kami, ganyan. Tapos and since almost every day, so sometimes we joke about it na parang ayan na may shift na naman kami from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. But kasi since syempre we miss each other, so parang nag-hangout kami. I think siguro yung ma-share ko sa mga tao na hindi nila alam about Troy. Kasi siguro ngayon syempre like when we watch Troy and nakita natin yung success niya, ganyan, it looks like, na talagang, paano, like, na parang, like he's this confident, strong, yet humble person, but I think knowing Troy, at siguro ito yung hindi alam ng mga tao, he's actually a sensitive person. He's a sensitive person. He really cares. He really cares. So like for example, like even if like it doesn't show that, let's say when someone tells him let's say a basher or something, of course papakita niya na okay siya, but I can really tell na like that yung care niya sa crafts niya, sa artist niya, sa mga kaibigan niya. Actually, kahit sa akin, like when he sees something like not good, with someone saying not good about me, he really gets affected. Like he really cares. He really cares. So he's really sensitive. Sa maraming bagay, and I think that's what makes him also a great person. So yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Troy, happy 18th
Kompletuhin natin, Carla. Oh, yeah,
Okay.
Jake, may message ka ba para sa ating debutant?
Yung message ko sa'yo, first of all, happy 18th birthday. Kung meron ka pang gustong matutunan sa pagluluto o gusto mong matutunan sa bahay, nandito lang ako. And kasi alam nila Rico yan, siya kanya Carla, yung mga alam ko sa bahay. So pwede kitang turuan. So ito I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful to call you kapatid. I think yun yung message ko sa'yo. I'm really grateful to call you kapatid.
Love you,
So
man.
thank you. Thank you.
Rico, I feel like we're invading like a friend Zoom
I
call.
know.
And then we're the two awkward people like,
Na parang,
haven't you guys since high school? So like, I'm a dick. That kind of.
we're the intriguero at intriguero.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I feel like they're not satisfied with like what they want to know about you.
I know.
That's why we're gonna schedule a non-live.
Yeah.
Yeah. Grilling.
Oh,
Grilling.
Yes. Hot
But,
seat talaga.
It's wonderful to hear how artists,
Mm.
regardless of how they know you or how they came to know you, really sing you praises in that sense, and yet you still remain so humble. I mean, is that something that's very important for you as well when you work with artists? Do you feel like you have to have a relationship, like a friendship with them in order to make, beautiful music wow, with them and to, bring out their talent? Is that something that you really value, the relationship with the artist?
Of course, and when working with artists, like you have to gain their trust.
Mm.
Music is a personal thing, especially when it comes to their art. So, I always try. I'm from Hawaii, and my parents just taught me how to just be humble. There's growing up. Here's what it is. Growing up, there wasn't a lot of representation for Filipinos, so I couldn't. I mean, I don't think anyone should, but I really couldn't stretch my puff up my chest. Like, I really had to. It's humbling. You have to start from the bottom up. So when I always try to be nice to everyone. I guess what I'm trying to say is always be humble and be true to yourself, and always be grateful. Never stop. Like, don't get complacent, and that kind of stuff. People and artists really kind of see. Like, even if you don't. And you don't have to do extras. Like, I just, I'm always myself. I'm always grateful to be there. I try to be positive, and I think that it appreciates that, because music, especially rehearsals or recording, there's always like nerves and people getting so anxious. Oh, the next step, like, what do we need? What do we need? And I'm just there to. I got you. I got your back, and we're gonna make beautiful music together. It's gonna be really fun, and don't worry. No worries. Be happy, man.
Oh my God. First of all, that's why Troy has no enemies. I feel like everybody loves him because he's just like such a nice guy. So let's change that. Troy, I want people to start dating you. So, I mean, you work with Jake, you work with Chessa. As the musical genius that you are, I want to know, and I'm sure the monsters want to know as well, what's one thing you absolutely love about Chessa and about Jake, and what's one thing that you absolutely cannot stand about them as artists that you can share? We're all friends here.
As
Um,
artists,
spill
you
the
know,
tea. Spill the tea.
the tea. But you know, the both of them have. I already know what I hate about both of them. Yung wala, di ba?
Spill the
Yung
tea.
hate
Spill
na-
the tea.
Well, here's the tea.
Oh, that's cute, lang.
The thing that I hate about the both of them, to be like in all seriousness, is that they're both very self-deprecating. I think that they're both such talented individuals, and they're always constantly like, oh my god, like was it good, or they're so badass. Can I say that on air, badass? Like
Yeah.
they're so dope, and
No.
it's always like it's not that I have to encourage them, but it's always like remind them like, yo, you have a gift, and you gotta just own your gift and let it shine. And in terms of what I love about them, I love for Chessa, like she's very creative. Like I think she thinks I don't give her as much credit as she does. But a lot of my stylings and the way that I like even sing in her, because I learned a lot from Chessa. So she's very artistic, very creative. And so is Jake. What I love about Jake is that he's so hardworking. He will not leave the studio unless it's done. Like he'll hear it and he'll be like, "Oh no, let's do it again." And we'll literally do a verse, like a 10-second verse, like 20 times until we get it right. So the work ethic in both of them, and the way that they appreciate and respect their crafts is inspiring, because it makes me want to do that, and it pushes me to be like more professional, like even better with like how I play and produce, and we feed off each other's energy. So
How does one apply to be part of this friendship
Yeah.
movement here? I feel like this is the most uplifting.
but you guys are already part of it. Like we're
Yo.
you know,
Like, here's the problem. Rico and I cannot sing.
We can't. We can just do
Literally
voiceovers.
the weakest links in this chain of like talent. Okay,
if you can do an ooh, then it's all good. If you can do oohs, we need
Ooh, hey, that's it. But
I don't like it.
Like they
it's different.
pick a note.
a joyful noise.
I don't stick with it.
But the person that worked very closely as well with throughout the years is Chessa. And Chessa, do you have a message for Troy that you want to tell him? Given the opportunity now that you're gonna get to share with us, you get to talk to your brother.
What is this? MMK. God.
I love her.
My message to Troy. We've been doing this since we were young, Brother Bear, and I know this is so huge, and this is just the beginning. And gosh, I'm gonna cry.
Oh my god! Yay, tears!
No, dear. There's so much more out there for you, and I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you. And yeah, dude, you're doing it. You're doing our dreams. You're telling the kids out there back at home in Hawaii that whatever you set your mind to, as long as you have that drive, that spirit, that love, and that just the support of everybody, your family, and you have your mind right, you can do whatever you want, no matter what. I'm proud of
What a show! I'm sorry.
See, this is such a great special, all courtesy of course, the Hallmark Channel. We're here bringing families together. As you can see, we have the Christmas tree. We got the Christmas sweaters. Yeah. But Karla and everybody that's watching us, it's really different when somebody got your back.
Yes.
And that's something that Troy would always tell people and will always be there for people. And you have inspired everybody that you meet along the way to keep on going, man, you know. And when you were starting, who was that person for you? Who was Troy for Troy?
You know, the person other than in terms of the gigs with other than Jake, the person that really put their, you know, their, I guess their what is it, their back on the line, is that like they were saying, like they took a chance on me was David Foster. You know, he's worked with like people that played on Thriller, on Whitney Houston's Bodyguard. He worked with the best. So when he took me on and you know, brought me in as his musical director and got me on so many different gigs along the way, it's to this day, like no matter how many things that I've done, it's pretty surreal to me, man. Like that's David Foster, you know. Like I grew up listening to his stuff. So did every Filipino singer. Every Filipino knows "I Will Always Love You" and "I Have Nothing." So when I was able to work with him and see that he actually believed in me and really wanted me to succeed, like I had to. There'd be moments, even to this day, where I have to sit back. I'll sit back in my hotel and just kind of like, yo, like that's pretty. It's pretty epic. It's pretty cool, and I'm just grateful. So David Foster, that's my mentor, my brother, my hero in music, and it's a blessing, man. It's a total humbling, and I'm honored.
Now, you know, the album Kaibigan, a Troy Laureta OPM Collective Volume 1, who are the artists that are a part of it?
Yeah, we have Aileen from South Korea, Matt Bloyd. We have Chessa, Nicole Scherzinger, Pia Toscano, Jake Zyrus, Shalea, and then we end it with Regine Velasquez.
Hey, look at that.
First of all, and we ended with, you know, casual.
It's just songbird. That's about it.
Okay, Troy, we get it. Okay, Jake's your best friend. Chessa, your sister, can sing super well. Like, having an album, and David Foster's your member. Okay,
Yeah.
fine.
I love Karla. Karla's
Disrespectful.
Straight up.
Right? It's like, Troy, thank you for making me feel this
Thank
small.
Well, literally, Karla on screen,
Yeah,
you're this small.
I know,
Yeah,
I'm the tiniest on screen.
yeah.
Congratulations once again to
Congratulations.
all of you. I mean, I feel like this is definitely an album that people will really gravitate towards, especially right now. And it's something that people really need because, you know, 2020 has been a really difficult year. It's been a crazy year for so many. And, you know, this album will truly be a comfort. It'll be that warm hug that people need, you know, because it's different when you hear the classics that you grew up listening to and the songs that your grandparents played or that your parents made you listen to. So I think to be part of something this special is already such an accomplishment. So congratulations, guys.
Congrats.
Truly well deserved from all of you. I want each of you, please invite all of the people watching and listening right now to get the album and to listen to it and to request for it because this is a Pinoy. I don't know. It's like a Pinoy must-have, especially this
With
Christmas.
Puto Bongbong. That's what it is.
And hot chocolate, even if you're ready.
Right. Okay, let's start with Jake. Go ahead, Jake.
Oh, yes, Kaibigan, a Troy Laureta OPM Collective, Volume 1. Maraming salamat po sa lahat ng mga sumuporta na at sa mga hindi pa po nakakarinig. It's available sa lahat po ng digital platforms worldwide. And I just want to say thank you to everyone from the bottom of my heart because I know how much this means to my brother Troy. This is his dream. So thank you for making his dream come true. And kapatid, thank you so much dahil you know, like for trusting me to be a part of this of your journey. So thank you and love you all as well. Thank you for supporting.
And
Wait
Jake,
for the volume 2.
What's
Wait
your
for the
plan
volume.
for? What's your plan for the holiday season and for 2021? What's that we got to look forward to from Jake Cyrus?
Yeah, Jake.
Well, actually, I get Miss You in the Moonlight is still out, so maraming salamat po. But this Christmas siguro, well, we're gonna spend New Year's dito sa manager ko, but Christmas, syempre gusto ko kaming dalawa muna ng fiancé ko.
Yee!
But
What?
you know, I'm looking forward to 2021. You know, like Troy and I and Chessa, we keep talking about, you know what, 2021 be better, give us everything, you know, because 2020 has been, alam mo yun, talagang challenging talaga, you know. So 2021, I look forward to it, you know, and there's gonna be great projects as well, album and all that. But for now, I'm really excited for everything na magagawa namin for Kaibigan, Troy's album, and next year, hopefully kapatid, you know, and Chessa will fly here so we could, you know, like meet
Yes.
everyone and, you know, perform Kaibigan live. So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yes.
All
Oh.
right. Thank you very much, Jake.
Thank you,
How about
salamat.
Chessa?
What's going on, guys? It's your girl Chessa. Make sure you check out Kaibigan, a Troy Loretta OPM Collection Volume 1. It's gonna make you cry, make your mama cry, make your grandma cry. It brings families together. Check it out.
Great way to
what?
sell it, plus. I want to cry, want to cry, get the album.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody, for the support. No, for real. Thank you, everybody, for supporting Kaibigan. This is for the Philippines. This is for the culture. Check it out. Love you, bro. This is it. We're doing it, baby.
Yes.
Hey! That's what it is. And last but not the least, Troy.
You guys, everyone that's listening, I just want to thank you guys first of all for supporting Kaibigan. It is out now. Troy Laureta OPM Collective, Volume 1, you know, meaning Volume 2, maybe. So it's out everywhere, iTunes, Spotify. And I just want to say I've read all you guys' comments, the messages. I can't, you know, I'm going to try to respond to everybody, but the love and the support that everyone has shown me from all over the world, especially my Philippines. Like you guys are the best, man. Like they say every time I do a tour or you know we get to go, the Philippines has like the best fans of music. Like you guys are such fans of music, and I'm just so humbled and honored that I'm able to bring our music to the world. And I please continue to support it. I love you guys, and I love Filipino music. So mabuhay ang OPM. Let's do it.
And Troy, before we let everybody go, and I know you guys got a stack schedule today, you have a message for yourself, for Troy, that, yo, we've gone this far. What's up?
Uh-huh.
A message for myself.
Mhm.
If I could talk to, you know, I would say Troy. If I would talk to my younger self, I would say Troy. One day, you're gonna make music that will move people, that will possibly change the world, and all the other stuff that you worried about, all the things that people say and the naysayers, it won't matter at the end because at the end of the day, the world's gonna be singing your music. So that's all I gotta say. Like I stay positive and you know stay grateful. Never forget God, and you know make more music, baby.
Ooh,
It's all
that's a
about
good self message right there. I feel so inspired right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
guys.
Jay.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Chessa. Thank you, Troy.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations once again, guys. Kaibigan, you gotta get it. I mean, this is
Thank
like
you.
this
Get
is
the
gonna be that
album.
holiday gift, the holiday gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There
baby.
you have there you have it. Ladies and gentlemen, give a round of applause. Troy.
Thank you, guys.
Bye,
Thank
guys.
you. Bye, guys.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You.
There you have it. Oh my goodness. What a show, Carla. This is the one of a kind experience that we got to see. But you know, one thing that I could take away from this interview that
Yeah,
it's different when really someone believes in you.
that's
Especially when
true.
you're starting out and you kind of have so many marami self-doubts and everything.
True.
And Troy is going out there telling people, yo, I got you. You got
I
this. Get
know.
your sand out. And it takes that person to tell you, I got your back, to give you
Yeah.
enough confidence to launch you into the stratosphere of stardom. So that's so
Too
cool.
true,
That's so cool.
Rico. Too true. So yeah, I hope you
Yeah.
monsters enjoyed this interview. Don't forget you can share it with all of your friends
Mhm.
and family, and don't forget about Kaibigan because I feel like this is something like I keep on saying. It's gonna be a staple in Filipino households, especially come Christmas. So yeah, you guys have
Yeah,
to
what a
look.
great, great show.
You guys have to look like on the brighter side of this whole thing. At
Mhm.
least with this pandemic, all of your favorite artists are coming out with the most incredible music. So
And it's bringing a lot of people together, and
yeah.
that's what's really, really cool about it. And what a way to start out our December, right? Our first week of December, we have already unwrapped one of the gifts that we got from the Philippines to the world, Troy
Yeah.
Laureta. So don't forget to get a copy of the album once again. That is, of course, Troy Laureta OPM Collection. Kaibigan is the album. Grab a copy of it. Give it to somebody this Christmas season. But for Facebook Live and everybody tuned in, thank you very much for watching and listening. She is Karla Aguas.
He's Rico Robles live, but on air, the riot hits continue. So hit us up at RX9.